Traditionally, when we've talked about putting something on a pedestal, it's meant that we're treating whatever it is with a kind of idealized respect, recognizing the positive influence of the idea, the organization, the person, or the nation. But if we put something or someone on that kind of pedestal, and it turns out there's a dark side of their history and reputation, then we've seen of late that they can easily fall or be pushed off that lofty place of honor, symbolically or even actually. That's been happening much more often these days as nations look at their collective consciences. It's a phenomenon that some call the cancel culture, although it doesn't automatically apply to everyone who takes issue with celebrating something or someone with a total history that can't or shouldn't be celebrated. This is something in sharp focus right now in light of Canada's horrendous treatment of Indigenous peoples over a century and a half or more. You don't have to subscribe to the cancel culture to question even the notion of celebrating or observing our nationhood on Canada Day, given the graves of little ones that continue to be found on the sites of residential schools. There are firm and heartfelt arguments that statues of university founders or prime ministers should be taken down or toppled off their pedestals. Or those who fought, however heroically, for the right to keep slaves should even be honored in a monument. Many of us can't help but understand the hurt and resentment behind those sentiments and demands. But like many, I respectfully question if that's the way we should go. Instead, maybe we need to repurpose the reason we put something or someone on a pedestal. Perhaps we've learned that it's beyond naive to idealize or worship anything or anyone that way, as though it or they were perfect. Leonard Cohen put it best: there's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Maybe putting something on a pedestal, drawing attention to it, should become an exercise in learning and understanding. So, for instance, we can and should recognize the enormous contributions of Sir John A. Macdonald and all those who brought about Confederation. And we should have our eyes wide open to the horrific events that resulted from his policies toward Indigenous people. That way we can understand what it is about our nation that gives it the good heart it has, the reason why so many in this world would like to be us. And we can take a clear-eyed look at where we've been wrong and do something about it. That's the pedestal onto which we could raise Canada and those who've helped make us the nation we are. The good and the bad, the often glorious history to remember, and the unforgivable failings we must make right and never forget. Might be that's the better way to honor what it is to be Canadian on Canada Day. What do you think? Your comments are welcome on this post.